Hello, my name is Mumbi Phiri and welcome to Showstars House. Now this is a show where we discuss issues of national interest, and of course we've brought to you weekly. And today you'll be glad to know that we have the former PF Deputy Secretary General, others call her General Mumbi Phiri, and of course others just call her Mumbi Phiri. We're here to discuss a lot of things pertaining to the governance and of course current affairs of our country. Madam, thank you so much for making time on this show, and we appreciate you to invite us here at your residence.
Thank you so much for coming. But before anything, let us remember that today marks 9 months since the demise of our beloved president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu. I don't know if you can allow me. We just stand and observe a minute of silence.
Please, I do allow you.
May the soul of our dear departed Edgar Chagwa Lungu rest in peace. Amen.
Amen. Ma'am, this conversation was going to be at the very end of our interview, but since we've already started, like you've rightly put it, today, 5th of March, marks exactly 9 months since the demise of our former president, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And his remains are still not yet, buried. How do you, what do you think has been the major problem in terms of not concluding this matter?
The major problem, as we all know, it's the government of the Republic of Zambia who have created this problem. Because the family, they were ready to bring the body back for burial. And we all saw that the family, as they said, they'd already hired an aircraft which was supposed to transport the remains. We saw the South African Defence Force prepared to give the honors as the body was departing from South Africa. We also, they were at the airport. But it was the Zambian government which changed the goalpost. Not forgetting that Edgar Lungu is not a only former president we have lost in this country. Actually, we have even lost sitting presidents. We lost Patrick Levi Mwanawasa as a sitting president in Egypt. We lost Michael Chilufya-Sata as sitting president in England. When President Levi Mwanawasa died, I was still a member of parliament for Munadi, and I had an opportunity to drive the opposition leader, Michael Chilufya-Sata, to the airport to receive the remains of Levi Mwanawasa. And even when President Sata died, we all went to the airport to receive his remains. But what surprised everybody, what was so different, we saw that police, the defense forces were deployed on the routing from the airport where the remains of Edgar Chagwa Lungu was supposed to pass. What was that? Why did the state want to stop people from doing what they are used to, lining up to receive the remains of their beloved presidents? Why? It brought suspicion. Two, they were invitation cards which were sent to people, something which has never happened. In Zambia, we only receive invitation cards if it's a wedding, a kitchen party, even Chilanga Muliro now. I've never seen in Zambia where anybody sends an invitation later. When they saw that they had fucked up, that's when those invitations were withdrawn. These are some of the examples which came to my side, because at that time when President Edgar Chagwa Lungu died on the 5th of June, I also lost my daughter on the 9th of June, and the funeral was at my house. And do you know actually what happened? Somebody went and lied that Mumbi Phiri had hosted President Edgar Lungu's funeral at her house.
Oh, because of the funeral that you had?
Yes, I lost my daughter. You know, even when others, like I can give an example of the funeral, which was also for Edgar Lungu, we said all the PF members should meet at our...
Secretariat?
No, yes, secretariat, but in the districts and in the province. We said they should meet, like in Kabwe, they were supposed to meet at Adora Nkoma's house, who is one of our officials. And the police went there. Ukuyapasa abantu. Napanopen, I hear there were some police, because I was in the house.
Where were the
but
police
they
stopping?
discovered, I don't know.
They didn't want people to mourn?
I don't know.
When you brought about the issue of invitation cards, you think there was any malicious ideas behind the invitation cards?
I mean, those who printed those cards, they are the ones who should explain what was behind that. Because it has never happened. Why? It has never happened. Invitation card. And if they can say it's because of the president, I never saw an invitation card of going to the airport when Levi Mwanawasa died. I never saw an invitation card when Michael Sata died to go to the airport.
Ma'am, let's bring it to the beginning. You say that the family of our former president was ready to bring the body to Zambia, and everything was ready in South Africa until the Zambian government changed goalposts. What
Yes.
did the Zambian government do?
Those are some of the examples I can give. Stopping people from lining up where the body was supposed to be. And we saw the deployment of officers on the routing.
Deployment of officers and printing of invitation cards, was that enough to stop the family from bringing the
As I told you, I also had a funeral. I was mourning. Other details, those are some of the things I heard about. The other details, I can't explain because I was also in mourning. But those, just two examples I've given, to me they are strange. And they are un-Zambian.
So some 3-4 days ago, Socialist Party's president he was arrested by Zambia police for... We put out a video sometime last week where he was saying that President Hakainde Hichilema has sort of, I'm paraphrasing, has sort of imprisoned the body of ECL, and then there was also a question of does he want to eat the body? How do you look at influential figures like the Socialist Party president Fred Membe, saying things like that in public?
It's shocking to me. Why Celebo? Isn't why Celebo an influential person? In fact, why Celebo is more influential to you young people because a lot of you follow him. I'm shocked how the same words which why Celebo used. Have you forgotten that he told us, the people of Zambia, kweba tutsende chitumbi chaba Edgar Lungu nga turefwa tusashire tubarie? Why wasn't he arrested? So how is it different when Membe uses the same words? You know, ba UPND, lesa adiba pera ichilafi. And when God does that to you, you forget what others are doing, and then you use the same thing to arrest another person. Inshuleya. Basate for baderanda. Lesa kupe ichilafi. Baalaba, forgetfulness. Baalaba, because why Celebo, I believe is one of them, is UPND. Let me take you through some other scenarios. There are people who have used disparaging words towards a corpse. Somebody who can't respond to you. The other one is Injavwa, who was dancing. Akatumbika leisa. Niba Bikironi baria. Bikironi and the other guy. Bale shana. Akatumbika leisa. An official, a minister of our province, northern province, misbehaving like that. He couldn't even be fired, which means they agreed with what he was doing. Why Celebo uses the same words but tusashire akatumbika abalungu, go Scots free. the other one questions if they want to eat. Isn't it the same? Isn't it eating? Ichitumbi, if they are saying taturia bafwa, how is it different from what Celebo said?
What do you think needs to be done right now for ECO's body to be put to rest?
I'm appealing President Hakainde Hichilema. I'm not claiming that you are my son. You said it yourself with your own mouth. In fact, because of the things you do, I was even hiding to tell people that you are my relative. But you said it yourself, that you are my relative, and it's true. You are my son-in-law. Don't continue putting us in shame, us who are related to you. Please, the soul of Edgar Lungu has already gone to his creator, because that's what the Bible tells us, that when you die, your soul goes back to your creator. Let his remains go back according to the Bible's instruction, that our bodies will go back to the soil because we are created from the soil. Let your colleague rest in peace. A person like me who is related to you, I'm moving in shame. And one day we'll go, would you want to be referred to when this case continues in the courts, maybe to take a year? If there was any bilateral thing which South Africa could have done, the body of your brother could have already come back. But they're following the law. Let's assume, because South Africa will follow the law to the latter. That's why they have granted the family to appeal in the Supreme Court. And if the Supreme Court say otherwise, we'll still go to the Constitution Court. Would you want that? You go down in the history of Zambia, your children, when we are both gone, your grandchildren, they'll be referred to as your government which kept your brother's body for this long. And I'm not claiming to be related to you. You said it yourself. Me, I come from a family where we are always in the public domain. I'm also related to Mama Chivesa Kankasa, who is dead. Look at her legacy. That's my sister. Our grandmothers were sisters, not Mumpadi, from same mother, same father. Her legacy is there. People talk nice things about Mama Chivesa Kankasa. This is a woman who told Kenneth Kaunda in his face when he started doing wrong things. That's how she was dropped with dignity from the powerful Central Committee of UNIP and made a provincial minister in Eastern Province. Later, because they wanted to get rid of her, she was sent as Zambian High Commissioner to Nairobi, Kenya, where I took over as a young sister. I want to show you that I don't want to claim because you are in the limelight. I come from a family where we are always in the limelight. The Chief Justice, Mama Lombe Chivesa Kunda, who recently lost a son whom we are burying just last Friday. That's my auntie. And they are only, from my mother's side, they are only remaining the two of them, herself and my mother, who is still alive. So for me, there's nothing exciting being related to somebody who is in the limelight, because that's where I come from. So when I say, you're my son, I'm connected to you. My grandchildren are your nieces. I don't want them to be moving in shame. Do the right thing. Tell Bamliro Kabesha, you have the power. Just the way you removed the GBM from prison, that power is in you. You can also tell Bamliro Kabesha to withdraw that case from the courts in South Africa so that your brother can now go and we take his body where the dead go. You can do it. And since it's a plea from your own mother, I believe you are going to consider.
Great. So, in this case, are you suggesting that barring of our former president, the whole case is in Hakainde Hichilema's hands?
I mean, isn't he the one who appointed Muliro Kabesha? Isn't Muliro Kabesha the advisor to the government of the Republic of Zambia? Who is the president of the Republic of Zambia? It's President Hakainde Hichilema. The way he removed GBM from prison, Katere Kalumba from prison, on the date, we know the dates. Like me was been in prison for over a year, 1 year, 2 months and 8 days. I know you only release prisoners on days which are stipulated, gazetted days. But those two people were removed by the president out of his discretion. I'm confident that he can still instruct Muliro Kabesha to withdraw that case as our Attorney General. He can do it.
Let's move on, ma'am. Thank you very much. Let's talk about your incarceration for murder.
Yeah, it's something which is laughable. And you know, it's so sad that this government can even pay witnesses just to have somebody they don't like to be incarcerated.
I want you to say what you just said again, just so I can tell myself that I heard it correctly. The government paid people to stand.
Can pay. They wanted. They wanted to pay.
They wanted to pay.
Yes.
Someone to stand as a fourth
witness in my case.
That you can be
incarcerated. Maybe let me elaborate.
Please.
When I was incarcerated, do you know that even Karen Muchima, your fellow friend, a journalist, this is on record under the case which was presided over by Honorable Charles Zulu, who is now, I think, he got a promotion in Mongo when he was sitting as a judge in my case, where Winter Kabimba says that bogus Nole. That's what he calls it. There was a woman called Mrs. Bronner, who is a marketeer in Green Market in Mongo, who was in that Hilux, which was being driven by Shebi Chirekwa. I wasn't even at the scene of the crime. And Karen Muchima confirmed that he edited that video, which was brought as evidence in the Mongo court. This woman, Mrs. Bronner, was supposed to be the fourth witness, state witness. And she told Judge Zulu that 2 police officers, Mr. Uyoya, and what do they call them? The DI, I don't know, Chief Investigation Officer for Kaoma at that time, Mr. Mulimba, went to her house in the presence of the husband and told her that if you say you are not in that car, it was Mumbi Phiri in front of that car, we are going to give you a diplomatic job. I don't know when police officers started giving diplomatic jobs to people. But that's what she told the court. If you go through my case, you are going to find what I'm telling you. On top of the diplomatic job, she was offered money. I don't know. These police officers who get very little money, they were going to get money to give that woman. This issue, I've even called Bamono one time when he was on radio. I gave him evidence, and I believe I'm a whistleblower. Have these police officers been cautioned? Mr. Uyoya now is under police Tazara. This woman gave us that information in court. If it was under normal circumstances, those police officers were supposed to be penalized.
What happened? Did this woman accept this proposal?
She refused. That's how she moved. If you go on record, her name was appearing as a state witness.
So the police officer went to the woman's house and tell her, if you stand false witness against Mumbi Phiri, we're giving you
a diplomatic job and money. Yes.
Did she mention how much was offered?
She didn't mention how much, but she mentioned the job as a diplomat. So me have been wondering, and she's still alive. She refused. That's when she became my state witness. And on the stand, in the High Court, she said those words, and she refused. She said, I can't stand against a fellow woman.
Have you ever reported those policemen?
I've talked about it, and I've told you, if I tell Bamono, who is from ACC, isn't that enough whistleblowing?
I've seen a lot of people that would say, go and report. If you don't report, the police will have this.
No, but that is on record. Millennium Radio have it. He was on that program. What more should I move from Chongwe up to there when I told him? And he told me that they will look into that. Isn't that enough?
Have you ever publicly claimed that you were present at the shooting scene?
No. And
where does this information
because I was the Deputy Secretary General of the Patriotic Front. And I speak on behalf of the party. And if Karen Muchima cared to tell the whole story, you could have seen that we followed. There was an incident at UTH, and it's me who took him in my car. We were having a conversation, but he decided to pick what fitted his agenda. I wasn't. That's why the church where I was on that day, they came to the High Court to tell their story that I was in their church. When we came out, that's when we heard about the shooting. The crime I committed was to help transport, because it's me who called even the Minister of Health. We have this incident here. Please help transport these people to UTH. And the chopper was sent. Unfortunate, the other person died. This woman even told the court that the handbag which Lawrence Banda died with was hers. And she said, that was my handbag. And the judge asked her, where is the handbag? And she said, I threw it afterwards.
So at what point did you become chief suspect?
Ask those who arrested me, which is very unfortunate. And even the president himself. Remember one time he had a press briefing, and he said, he didn't say, I pulled the trigger. The president himself is on record. I remember when he had that press briefing, he said Mumbi Phiri was at the crime scene and she was watching. He never said I pulled the trigger. And it's so sad, the way I mentioned to say, there was Y Celebo who said tufire twasashire ekitumbi ky'abalungu nga turefu atukirie baikata bamembe, who said the similar things. In my case also, President Hakainde Hichilema never said I pulled the trigger. He mentioned me by name to say Mumbi Phiri was watching. Those are the words he used. Do you remember? But what has happened? I went through the full trial. What has happened to Maria Zaromis? She has been, the case has been reduced by a magistrate to manslaughter. Have you seen the disparity? Me, I went through the whole process on suspicion. Nobody, even the president said, I was watching, not that I pulled the trigger. But Zaromes, Maria Zaromes, the Z farmer, a video, it wasn't outsiders who were taking that video. It's themselves there at the farm. And they've given a manslaughter. Where? At the magistrate. Isn't that animal farm?
So you feel like there's
some animals, yes, they were the state.
There's double standards.
Yes, yes. I can say that.
Do you have any grudge against your incarceration?
No. And I publicly say it. And I tell people that in whatever situation you go through, something good comes out of it. If you pray truly. I was just telling the Lituga when we went, because this was the first time I went to Western Province. You know, coincidentally, my husband's young brother, who is a captain, when I was arrested in Western Province, he was transferred from Lusaka as a deacon in the caption to Mongu in particular. When I was transferred to Mongu, I think 3 days later when he was transferred, I was transferred to Mongu prison. And I was telling the Litunga that I was thanking him, how the people of Western Province looked after me. They really looked after me. I'm proud. And you know that when I was arrested, I was a very bad diabetic patient. And I was telling the Litunga, I don't know what the people in Western Province did to me. And I think because I was so free, happy. Can you believe that I'm diabetic free?
Really?
Yes. Even you found my daughter-in-law, who is a doctor. They can't. That's a medical doctor. My own children are medical doctors. My own relatives, Professor Luo is a doctor. They can't explain. And Ash is a scientist. They can't explain how my diabetes has disappeared. Isn't that God?
Very. We are related to Professor Luo?
Yes. Professor Luo's grandmother came after my own grandmother. Not Mumpadi. Same mother, same father. Our grandparents. My grandparent was Oda. Professor Luo's grandmother followed my grandmother.
And how are you related to President Church?
My daughter is married to the cousin. And it's him who said it on Radio Phoenix. Me, I was ashamed to talk about that because of the things he does.
Oh, really?
Yes. I can say that proudly. It's him who revealed. It's not me.
That was before he was... that was when he was still in opposition.
Yes, towards the elections, yes. And even apologized. You know, I'm not supposed to bring these young people in the limelight. But me, I never talked about him because of the things he does. And I even knew, in a Central Committee meeting, I told President Edgar Lungu that, Mr. President, this election we are going to lose. I knew we were losing, but I couldn't join UPND because of my son-in-law.
So you've just said something very interesting and I'm very intrigued. You had a central meeting where...
Central Committee, oh yes. All the MCCs were there. Ask them. Maybe because when I say that President Lungu is dead, you would think I'm lying. Ask everybody who was part of the Central Committee.
What were your reasons for your statement?
I gave the reasons that it's the way we have done things. And you heard me, one, the adoptions. You heard me when people were complaining about cadres. I'm referred to as a lone voice. Me, I don't pretend. Even when I...
Did you stand on the side of the people when cadres were...
Oh, yes. You have forgotten. You're one of the journalists when you were with Hot FM. Do you remember? I think you are one of... If it's not you, I was escorted to Kamgoda. I went there to go and fish out those boys who were doing wrong things. I did that. And people called me a lone voice. And me, I don't pretend anyway. I just say the...
I was with QFM.
Yes, you are with QFM.
You were also once arrested in Kawambwa. Are you a troublemaker?
Can you believe? You are in my premises. Can you believe that I can steal a phone with 4,500? You are using my phone to stream live on my Facebook. How much is that phone? Can even the Minister Mposha afford that phone? He lives just very near there. Are you sure? Me, I can stage an aggravated robbery. I don't even know what made them think of giving me that charge. Thank God. God is always on my side. It's the DPP himself who instructed them to release me because there was nothing. Isn't that malice coming from the entire minister of, is it water and environment, lying on it? Do you know that he's a Catholic? And he was just bloused as main counsel. He can even feel proud wearing that uniform as a liar, lying on a woman. And it was proved that he lied because the DPP, who is part of his government, is the one who instructed. So
Honorable Mposha is the one who went to the police and said that you stole the phone.
Is it me who is saying? You are a journalist. You don't know who reported.
I'm asking questions.
No, but you know that it's him. I'm not accusing him.
Someone who's just watching this conversation for the first time.
Oh yes, it's him who reported, and it's on record. And even this funny cousin of mine, Simon You're
related to everyone.
Oh yes, you have never heard me. Simon Mwewa is a nephew to Vaneva Smumba. You have heard, I've said publicly, that is my uncle. And he was speaking for me when I was in incarceration. It's not a lie. It's only the truth. And he also laughed, Simon Mwewa. Ati sure, I don't understand about that cadre who reported together with Honorable Mposha. Iwa wewa kumushuko kwa ndani. Kuti wakwata phone ya 4 pin 300.
Did you have you ever had a conversation with Honorable Mposha after that incident?
You saw my son when you came, that tall boy.
Yes.
When I was in incarceration, it's him who used to go there because they are friends with his children, and the child could plead, cry to him, and was saying, there's nothing I can do. In his heart, he knew he was lying, and it was proven that he was lying by the DPP by withdrawing that case, that there is no aggravated robbery here. And later they withdrew that as police and gave me conduct at a public, school is a public place. How could they do that? They changed the charge.
They changed the charge to what?
To what? At causing, I don't know, I can't even remember. And I was charged 89 kwacha. And my son, who was there for 18 days, my children, 3 of them were there with me. And they paid 89 kwacha. And that's how, me, myself, they paid for me because that was the charge. And that's how I came out.
You're watching Shosta's House. We are with, the former Deputy Secretary General for the Patriotic Front, Mumbi Phiri, who has, clearing some issues here and there as we're having this conversation.
At the same time, it has to be gradual. And I think Makebi Zulu represent that.
Do you think he's a better candidate over Mundubile?
To me, I don't even want to compare them. To me, Makebi is the best. I don't say anything about Mundubile. I've chosen Makebi. It's the best to me. Those women as a running mate. Do you know why? We reached a certain bar in politics when we had people like the late the former Chief Justice, Irene Mabirima. When we had women of Mugala was behaving in that house, if that's the behavior. Did you see Catherine Mugala dancing a patriotic, a party symbol? What she was doing by Nedi Mutu when she was dancing like this, isn't this the dance of UPND? That's what they use. I can vouch for the deputy
Isn't
speaker.
that a traditional dance?
No. Decorum. We follow the decorum of the British. Have you ever seen in the British Parliament, Vareshana? I don't know where she got that. I can call it that. That's why she has been reported by Copeland to IPU, International Parliamentary Union, because it's unprecedented. That's something very shameful, and I'm waiting to hear what IPU is going to say. We have a deputy speaker,
dancing like that in Parliament, does it constitute to breaking any laws? Or
it does.
Is there
that's a breakage. It's very illegal, and that's the breaking of the etiquette of the parliamentary procedures. It has never happened under Commonwealth. That's why she has been reported to IPU. But yeah, what they are doing, those who are breaking the law, Muzambia Nomba people can even abrogate the constitution, which they sought to uphold. They can get away with it because we are living like in a banana republic. I'm sorry to say that. And that's only the truth.
So because of that behavior, according to you, Nelly Muti does not stand as a woman of integrity?
I'm still talking about a lot of them. Bamwangala Zalomes. Yes, ECZ is an institution which is running. But Bamwangala Zalomes, that's a woman who had a lot of integrity.
She had.
She had.
She no longer has.
I mean, at the rate she's going, if she can come under the institution she's representing and tell the people that they are going to remove, she agrees, even if it has come from the executive, and then she agrees to remove the security we have on the ballot papers. If she can agree to stop stamping the ballot papers, by the way, those who stamp ballot papers, are you aware that they are paid for that? And yet she knows that we saw in the last election. Good example is Southern Province. We saw ballot papers being stuffed. What you are doing is illegal. It's on the internet everywhere. We don't have the security of our ballot paper when they remove that feature which is on the ballot paper and the stamping. Where are we going as a country? So, Bamwangala, please, I'm pleading with you, my sister. We love you. You have integrity. You are the person who represented Bamayoba na Wina when they were arrested. Nababred na Changala. I remember I was still young. I wasn't even a politician. I didn't even have interest in politics that time. They were arrested and taken to Edwin Imboir. Bamwangala Zalomes was their lawyer. Please. Where you and me are going, I just said I'm 56. Where I've come from is long. Where I'm going is very near. Me, I want to die with integrity. I go with my integrity. And I'm pleading the same with you, my mother. Because I know you have children who are my age. Please, keep your integrity. A job is just a job. It just comes and goes. But the integrity, you go with it. And you get a reward for doing a right thing. When you are presented to our Father, me, my dear son, I want when I go and present myself to my King, my Lord, my God, my works I know they will follow me. Money, titles being honorable have been some people alandaseka nokuseka nshitando mfwana abantu nga bale ichita introduce honorable Mumbi Phiri. You're not supposed to call yourself honorable. It's people who are supposed to address you as honorable. Me, I'm just supposed to introduce myself. What's your name? I'm Mumbi Phiri. I'm not even supposed to introduce myself. I'm Ambassador Mumbi Phiri. No, it's you supposed to call me that. Tiapa chalo, malwa ya chalo.
Are you satisfied with the conduct of Vice President?
Yeah. Bamayo, Bana Lumango. That's another one who has brought down the decorum of women. Banshi ukutufunya. Abantu bare muna kumona tibana mayo nomba. We are following where our bread is buttered. That woman from marrying bafuma mkufi omwana wabo. Then she comes and starts telling the nation abana baba na what kabiye ni muimite mufole. What is in integrity in a woman getting pregnant to get paid? Is there any integrity in that? She's the worst. You can't compare Bana Lumango na Bamayo Bana Wina. Maybe because Bamo Bana Wina was exposed and she was married to a diplomat like me. Maybe that's why she was behaving like that.
Ma'am, I'd like to move on.
Those are only facts. So anyway, as I conclude, that's why for me I'm not even supporting gender, because banamayo na tuibwe sesha panshi. Look at the Concord. Who is the head of the Concord? It's a woman. They ruled themselves, and in the last ruling they even mentioned Edgar Chagwalungu. But don't just look at Edgar Lungu. This is a precedence which we are setting for the country. Another woman who has fired those women. But Vincent Malambo Vaisa Ifumiako Judicial Complaint Unit. Who did that? Eva Jara, another woman. Integrity. So me, I'm not even supporting this business of a woman being a running mate. Yes, only a woman who has integrity. If all of us have nothing, pick another man. Another man. We have to prove ourselves for the positions we are fighting for.
Are there any women that you're happy with in the UPND government who are serving at the top?
I mean, am I not just from pleading from Bamowa Mangalaza Romes? She still has that integrity. She's going to finish herself if she removes the security features. Those security features were put there for a purpose. Stamping, people are paid who are stamping, and the stamping is for a purpose also. And that's very clear. She can leave it or take it. If she wants to be referred in history as a woman who did that, because that is wrong, let her support, because it has come from, it's not how he's making it. Maybe it has come from the judiciary, but she has a right to say no to something which is not making sense.
How much trust do you have in the ECZ to carry out a fair and free election?
Zero. Because they are cadres, even Bamoba Mangalaza Romes. We have seen Nabafuana na Rigadia ya UPND, ba McDonald Chipenzi. At one time he applied to stand, is it in Siavonga, on UPND? So it's very tricky. You know, ECZ do even have this Kasaro, who is even responding. Is he the PR? He was threatening some people. What did they do? There was something which was going on 2 weeks ago. I'll tell you, I'll remember, and I'll tell you. Is that Kasaro, is that his job as ECZ to be involving himself in such things? The answer is no. So there's a very big question with ECZ. But with God, anything is possible. Others who have lost also with their own people they appointed at ECZ. When the people of Zambia decide, that's why Mufwire Bamoba Mangalaza Romes, she issued a statement the other day that when you vote, go back to your home. Who does that? Didn't we see UPND protecting their votes at the polling station? Why is she saying that? Because she's confident. She's not confident that the people who appointed her, they are going to go back.
Do you think the UPND have the chance to retain power come 13th August?
How can they retain power? Because even the feeding program, and you know, the feeding program, me, I was so shocked. Are you aware that Kablonga boys always are the section of a boarding for people who are living with disabilities? We have visited 3 or 4 schools. In Western Province, there is that school which accommodates the blind, Sefula. And in Imbereshi, we have another school. Munadi boys accommodates Vachivulu. Can you tell me, President Tutibaya Padiapa Kablonga boys, Bambo Kuchitofo Badechita, are you telling me those boys, and me have interacted with those boys? Why? Because of my son who died in the Kawambo accident, those friends of his who survived, they were taken to Kablonga boys. The 9 of them. I used to interact with them. And even when they started dying one by one, I was always with them when they were admitted in hospitals. Later, others were admitted at Mother Teresa because of the sores. Are you telling me Tabade Kuriapari? Because it's a body. That program has always been there. And look at the way it's backfiring. People, I was talking about it on one of the radio stations. And me, I thought at some schools they're asking for 20 kwacha. A parent who was a child at Kablonga Boys told us, he said, is it 150 they are asking parents to pay? If it's government policy, why should parents be charged?
Wait, I didn't have this information. I just thought it was fake news. Parents are being asked money to contribute for the feeding.
Yes. You can even get a bite from Millennium Radio. A parent called. Yes, they're being charged.
You said, and they said that during the PF, this program was there?
No, I mean, from UNIP. Kablonga boys, those children living.
Was it all the schools that were feeding their children?
No. But me, I'm talking about secondary school. We know that the feeding was primary school. Yellow maize. Now I had an impression. Is it they are saying that now Kablonga boys, is it only the boarding or even the day scholars they are eating now? You have to find out. But if it's the boarding, those boys they were showing, those boys living with disabilities, they have been feeding because that school has been there. From UNIP, MMD, the one I'm telling you about, when those boys were there, that was during the MMD 206. I used to fight, if you remember, Speed Mapush now, who is in England as as a journalist at the embassy. He used to cover me a lot because I used to fight a lot with Mwanawasa's government over those boys. They have been eating. That program has been there because it's a boarding. Even at Munadi, those Bachibulubari, because it's boarding.
So unless I'm wrong, what I know is even just day scholars have been introduced to the feeding programs.
Clarify that. Because me, why I'm saying that, they were showing those boys with disabilities who were dancing. That's why I'm thinking, if it's them only, that program has been there from UNIP. But if they have included those who just come every day, day scholars, then it's new. But it's not even new because parents get a bite from Millennium Radio. They code that they are paying, they are asking to pay. And others are saying, abadiku primary, prishama 20 kwacha, which is not free. It means the parents are contributing.
I will need to double check this information before.
Yes, yeah.
We are 5 months before the election, yet PF faction is yet to hold the general election. Do you think the remaining time will be enough to hold the long-awaited conference, sell the special purpose vehicle that you plan to use, and win the election against what appears to be the formidable UPND with President Hichilema?
Bushaba UPND tebalera ndati balete mingalato. What makes you think that opposition is not also doing mingalato? Mingalato pa mingalato. And me, I'm very confident UPND is losing to the opposition.
You think so?
Very. So I'm very confident. Look at me. Can't you see even the way I'm smiling?
I can see.
Look at the way I'm glowing.
I can see. So even you people in the opposition are playing Mingalato.
Mingalato pa Mingalato.
Someone told me that the election is won before the election day. Is it what you're doing?
When you look at the situation, the scenario in the country, even you, deep down your heart, even the listeners, the viewers who are following this program, they know that UPND is gone. Gonest. That's why they are so desperate. Mwayase Ndama councillors wasting taxpayers' money, because we have heard those councillors were paid by their councils. Some of these councils, they are even failing to pay their workers. Mwabule Ndalama, you transport them for accommodation, buy sakuno for that conference to endorse somebody who believes that. Do you need endorsement if you know you're winning? You have worked. Why can't they point at the toilets? Those in Kitwe, they went to officiate, which I hear they haven't even finished. Ala mingalato pa mingalato. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo.
So, Mama, I'll bring this to your attention. The UPND have introduced free education.
Free education was there even before. Let me correct you. And that's the scenario. It was from grade 1 to grade 7. What UPND promised as we were going to, towards the elections, they said they were going to increase from Form 1 up to tertiary.
Well, in the PF, where from grade 1 to grade 7, were people going to school for free?
Yes, from grade 1 to grade 7, yes. And they even
said... remember this information?
Yes, it was there. Okay. From grade 1 up to grade 7. UPND promised from grade 8 to tertiary. Are they paying for tertiary education? No. And yesterday, Binwo Mpundu was chased from Parliament for saying the truth. Binwo Mpundu said the Copperbelt University students haven't been paid. And if you listened from what the minister submitted on his WhatsApp, that was not something. Could they have laid what the minister was doing was not in order according to parliamentary procedure, because he was reading on the phone. If that was authentic, he was supposed to lay it on the floor of the House. If the speaker ruled Binwo Mpundu out of order, so was the minister, because he didn't have something which he could have laid on the floor of the House. He was reading and he acknowledged that yes, there were some students who haven't been paid. They are going to be paid when they report back. So what Binwo Mpundu said was factual. There were some students who were not paid, but he was chased.
He was chased.
Cry, my beloved country, animal farm at its best.
Ma'am, so I need to finish my statement. The free education that was increased, like according to you, from grade 8 to tertiary?
No, to grade 12. It hasn't extended to tertiary, yes.
Okay. They increased CDF, and obviously they've also managed to stabilize the economy with single-digit inflation. Some people may be benefiting from these things.
Let me tell you, this single digit, is it impacting on you? Have you seen any impact? Me, I drive a V8. Fuel is expensive. That's why the president even lied to us. You remember when he was telling the ministers to say, we are not going to see anybody driving a crocro, because when you start off, it's top-in fuel. But Minister latest, this latest one, has he bought the Toyota Hilux he was telling us about for them to be driving? Are you telling me these ministers, they are driving, because when they came in power, they were lying to say it's the PF government which bought those kurukuru. Usheba PF nano bopo baba, because iyi kurukuru ndensha ne iyi kona ipsana. The shape is different, eh? Haven't you been seeing these vehicles with the ministers? So if you na Zambia turibaturo, tatumu ina tukwa divanomba latest model ya kurukuru. That is one. Two, when you talk about CDF, yeah, this word where you are, this is Tandabale word. And for those who listen, because me, I've never stopped talking, I've challenged my councillor here. We are in 5 years now. Eh? I can't point at any single project which has been done in Tandabale ward using CDF. We have a clinic in Tandabale ward called Warudo Clinic. Na BP machine tapaba. There's a young girl who wants to stand here. We were talking that we put money together to the BP machine for Warudo Clinic. I went to the councillor here. He lives very close here. Namweba, you know, these women who sell along Great North Road, they were chased. I followed him. Help these women to access CDF. So that since now you have chased them from the road where they were making a livelihood, I offer them they can come and grow their chicken to start from my chicken runs. When they make capital, they can go their separate ways. He promised me that we are going to bring those forms for those women to get access to CDF up to today. Maybe we'll bring it today when he hears, because a lot of people follow my Facebook.
Yes.
But even if he brings here, isn't it 2 months, Parliament will be dissolved? And you should ask that CDF, the way it sounds like now, it's 36,000. Follow. Last year, did they get the 36,000? This year, have they gotten the 36,000? Like last year, I was following. From the other constituencies, I think the highest got, was it 18,000? That CDF is on paper. Even Minister of Finance doesn't release everything. It's just a song, CDF 36,000. So for barepunda to mufulo pa mufulo, no mwakature vota wane mufulo pa mufulo. It's not making any impact on anybody.
You're very confident that the Zambian people will vote for the opposition as opposed to the...
Barepunda no kupunda tinangu chipa so tukavota. Isn't that what they're saying?
What would you point out as the failures of the UPND government that would warrant their removal from office?
The UPND government, when they were coming into power, the president was moving na Tusala Jimumukoshi, na Kapamela, and he told the people of Zambia that midi meal will come to 50 kwacha. What did they do? They found maize, which was bought by their friends, sold it. Huh? They started bringing maize. In fact, when the maize started coming, it's me who raised the alarm. Because this road, which is just in front of my house, takes you to Nutrifeed. The Minister of Health came out and told us, yes, we have confirmed, we have tested the maize. This maize has aflatoxin. They told us, they confirmed. Do you remember? Nakachinda, who talked about aflatoxin, which was confirmed by the Minister of Health then, is in prison for talking about aflatoxin. His case is in court now when he was talking about aflatoxin, which was confirmed by the minister. Ubunga bwa 50 kwacha, obo bala irabantu, which they haven't brought, will make them go. They promised me, I'm a farmer. I have seen maize. We are buying fertilizer at 1,200. Do you know that even the fertilizer which Banalumango lied? You know it's a very big offense to lie on the floor of the house. You remember when Venon Mwanga was nearly removed. In fact, he was removed from Parliament for lying on the floor of the House about the situation in Congo. I was in that Parliament. That was in 2008-2009. Bamwanga. In time ya bamwana wasa. Bali bafumishe Parliament. But the situation, because we are in animal farm, Bana Rumango went on the floor of the House, talked about the 750 bag of fertilizer, which you have never seen. She can go scot-free. That was the promise. In fact, the president promised the people of Zambia that they will be buying fertilizer at 250. The president promised the people of Zambia, we have gone through load shedding, is it 3 to 4 years? When he promised the people of Zambia that, kwa Dubai, akuna pula. We are having load shedding because of lack of leadership. Whereas there is leadership, 4 years of blackouts. Abantu ama fridge bari tampa no kubika mu amabuku. Ubufi. Kaisa punda kachinjise nga bakateka. Ubufi bwachiramo suspension yaikata. That's why they are going. Because ubufi abantu abana kana.
What are some of the things that PF did better than the UPND? That the UPND have failed to handle well?
The infrastructure development. You know, the past 2 months have been going around the country. You can cry. The infrastructure development, badi firo kuchita match. Bale punda pali. For the first PPP road, do you know which one it is? It's the Chidirabombwe Chingola road, the one which has collapsed. And under PPP, the way that road has collapsed, it's the people who made that road who were supposed to repair. But the government is even defending them. But all akona bazedenes. What's happening in our country? Honestly speaking, everything is looking abnormal. But let's take an airport, at Sausage Airport. If you have flown to Ndola, they have even failed to finish that infrastructure, which is lying as a white elephant. Ngamwaya kusamfia, there was water, which was, even the money was given. Ukuya mkuchita build sanitation in Samfia district. Mwayako, it's a white elephant now.
Is there anything you can give the UPND credit for that they've done better than the PF?
Yes, I can give them credit for arresting us. Credit goes to them.
I mean, in terms of...
No, that's the only thing I can give. No, you asked me. Don't justify. I've given them credit for arresting us for no reasons. I'm one of them. I'm speaking here.
Isn't there anything they've done in terms of uplifting the lives of the people that you can say, I think they've done better?
They have uplifted my life. You know, before they arrested me, I used to cry. My children, I used to think my children are very young. If I died, you know, diabetes, it used to reach 32.5. I give you credit. I've been healed because of you. Taking me to prison, I think, you know, diabetes is a disease which comes because of stress. When I was in prison, I wasn't worrying to say I have to pay electricity bills. I have to pay water bills. I have to buy food. Food was brought to me. I could eat singongi. And you know how we eat fish in Western Province, by Mboyas? You just get utusari. Mwatuposa pamuliro. That fire, wood fire. Tuapia, you make salt. Salt, salt sana. You make salt is goroya salt. That's what we are eating. Here I am. I give them credit for making me get healed from diabetes.
As we come to a close, you know, winning the presidency requires that a single candidate amasses votes more than 50 plus 1. According to you, and I would like you to be very unbiased as possible, does Makebi, is he a candidate who would amass 50 plus 1 votes on the 13th of August?
When you listen to Makebi...
This is against Haga Nation.
When you listen to Makebi when he's talking, I'm sure you have heard him. is calling on the opposition to unite. But I will not give you a strategy which we are using. Just wait. But look at my confidence on my face.
I can see the confidence on your face. And if the confidence does not unite, does your Mingalato still work? If the opposition does not unite?
Don't worry. Don't want me. You want me to preempt. The confidence I have is President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. When he won the first time, he only campaigned for 21 days. And then I don't go to a losing team. At least that I know, and I'm very confident.
Wonderful. Ma'am, as I let you go, is there anything that you'd like to say as we come to close the program to the people of Zambia?
To the people of Zambia, don't lose hope. At least we all know whom we want to go for failing you, for telling you lies, for making for the first time in the history of Zambia for a person to be in a mortuary for 9 months today. At least we know what we want. And let us keep on praying. God is faithful and is still on the throne. And when we believe, He shall give us what we want. And thank you very much, Mr. Phiri, my son, and Mrs. Phiri for coming to come and give me this. I've enjoyed. It's a long time that I spoke. Yes. I think since Edgar Lungu died, this is the first interview. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No, Ma'am, I'd like to thank you so much also for allowing myself and my team to come and have this conversation with you. We're really, really grateful.
Thank you so much.
And of course, we wish you all the best as we head into the election, on the 13th of August.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been Shosta's House, and we've been hosting Madam Mumbi Phiri. She is former Secretary General for the PF, and of course you've heard, and of course you've seen the confidence as we head into the upcoming election. My name is Jackson Phiri. Until next time.